JT, good morning. Yesterday, Liverpool lost 2-1 to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final. Before we get into anything Liverpool related, I must say congratulations to Newcastle. They were by far the better team. They outfought us. They came with a clear strategy. They executed the strategy to perfection, and they deserve to win. No, no complaints there whatsoever. So well done to Newcastle. From our perspective, everyone associated with Liverpool Football Club, as far as playing staff is concerned and coaching staff is concerned, except for maybe Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott and Chiesa, just walk back to Merseyside. It was absolutely dreadful, that performance. We'll start with the manager. Last couple of games, 2-3 games, I've been kind of unimpressed by Slot's management. Starting 11 was poor. You started with Diogo Jota and Ryan Gravenberch. Now, Diogo Jota, for me, for some reason, since coming back from injury, he can't move, can't press, can't run, can't do anything, can't hold up the ball. Just you better off with a cone up front. Literally, you would literally play better with a cone as a striker. And Ryan Gravenberch as well. It's a player who's been played a lot of minutes this season. He's been showing tiredness since probably that crazy 15-game spell, Merseyside derby onwards. Like, he's been showing serious, like, his levels are dropping, and now he's got nothing left in the tank. It's not even like the fuel lights come on. You got 50 miles left. There's nothing left. He has nothing left, like Ian Beale. And we played him to death. We didn't need to. We could have started with Curtis Jones. I know it's not a like-for-like replacement, but he's very press resistant. He's comfortable with his back to goal. His back to the plate and turning out of trouble. You could have started him. He had more energy. And look, when he came on, like, I'm not saying he was amazing, but he was significantly better than Ryan Gravenberch. And then, like, just in-game management, they were playing a man-to-man press. Not once did you instruct your players to just keep the ball on the ground. Because what did our players do? A lot of our players are tired. Mo's tired. Diaz is tired. Mac 10 is tired. But still, you didn't encourage the players to stick to their principles. We would do a couple of passes in midfield and hoof the ball long and allow their defenders to just win their headers. Yeah, we didn't win any aerial duels today. And yeah, just allow the game to be so open. Like, we didn't slow the game was at a very, very fast pace, which suited Newcastle because their players are fresher and they played less minutes. They didn't play 120 minutes against PSG. They didn't get knocked out of the Champions League on penalties. They didn't have heartbreak midweek. Yeah, they're mentally and physically fresher. Yeah, and you didn't try to get our midfield to just slow the game down, get our foot on the ball and slow the game down. Yeah, we didn't do that. And Newcastle were just pinning us back, and they took a deserved lead before half time, and it was just downhill from there. Too many players today were anonymous. The fact of the matter is that Federico Chiesa and Harvey Elliott came on so late in the game, and those are the two players that linked up the score. Like, it's actually embarrassing for Slot. It's actually very embarrassing for Slot. He brought on Cody Gakpo. I acknowledge the fact that Cody Gakpo was not ready to come on in the PSG game after seeing him for 5 minutes and he didn't do anything. Yeah, he came on again in the cup final. What did he do? Yeah, we went to this stupid formationless thing. Like, really and truly, yeah, that is it's in terms of like tactical from a tactical standpoint, that's actually a failing from Slot. What the substitutions, I can understand he's bringing on attackers and stuff to try and change the game. He's throwing on all his attacking options, but our structure literally died. And that's fine. I get that, but here's the thing as well. Yeah, if you're gonna do that, why have you got a fullback on the pitch? I don't understand why Andrew Robertson. Not that I'm saying he had a bad game, but we didn't need a left back on the pitch. Just go to 3 centre backs, a pivot, 3 attackers and 2 strikers, three tens and two strikers. What is the need to have Andrew Robertson on the pitch? It's a waste of him being there. If we basically playing formationless, and it was so pathetic how the level of desperation we had. We had flipping Virgil van Dijk playing false 9 towards the end of the game. That's just disgraceful. I'm sorry. I don't want to ever see that again. I don't ever want to see my centre back trying to bring the ball down to link play in a cup final or any game for that matter. That's just that's so bad. Honestly, so bad. And yeah, it's kind of left me a little bit worried now because a lot of players' energy levels are very low right now. Very low. I know we've got a 2.5 week break. I don't know. I don't know how the players are going to come back because we've got a lot of players going to internationals. And it leaves me worried for the title race, man. I'll be real. I'm not gonna mince my words. But yeah, like I said again, congratulations to Newcastle. Well done on winning cup final. 70-year hoodoo broken, and yeah, that's it. Like the people, comment, subscribe, send in your views with you. I'm out. Peace.
Big up, lads. What a week of football for us, eh? What a difference just 2 games, do to a club. And that club is us, Liverpool. 2 games prior, we were high. We were ecstatic with our club, with our team, with our manager. And 2 games later, shocking. Absolutely shocking. So, the first game, PSG, even though don't have to talk about it, I'm just going to say this bit. We played a technical team, a team very skillful, with a great manager. So, technical team, really good tactician of a manager, and fair. That was our first game. We are out of the Champions League. In the second game, Carabao Cup final against the Toon Army, a very physical team, and still the manager had a point to prove. You're right. Eddie had something to prove. Newcastle, being a revamped team ever since their new owners, the Saudi owners, they had a point to prove, and they had to prove that point against us. So, Onslaught and our team, they lost the technical battle against the technical team, and we also lost the physical battle against Newcastle. How dominating and physical was Newcastle against us in the finals? And not just that, it's not just they kept using their sheer and brute force and their tenacity and aggressiveness. They were cutting us open. They were cutting us open during this game. What the hell were we doing? Where was that fight? Where was that spirit? Where was that? The saying, this means more. It doesn't mean more. It meant more for Newcastle. Look at them. They had tears in their eyes. It meant more for them. They outclassed and outsmarted us in every facet of the game. We are the ones who were playing like them, and they are the ones who played more like us. We were doing the long balls and whatnot. The entire team, Onslaught with his mockery of the game management and the substitution, they just need to look at themselves. And I dare to think, what if we let the Premier title slip as well? We all knew the Premier title is comfy. We've got a cushion. We've got a lot of points leads, like 12, 15, whatever. And now do we feel the same? Yes, it is still in our hands, but do we feel that confidence that we were? And that's what I'm dreading. Totally pissed off, guys. But look, big up to Newcastle. A really good team. Really good performance. This meant more for them. They deserved it. We deserved nada from this game. Nothing. And I can't believe we did not even fight for the final. Peace, guys. Peace.
Here we go again. Good evening to the Coppish community, Drifty, Matt and Cal. I think deflated is an understatement in relation to how I'm feeling currently at the minute, and I'm sure I'm not the only Liverpool fan that feels exactly the same. Carabao Cup final. Liverpool Football Club 1. Newcastle United 2. I mean, where do I start with this? Where do I start? So, I think there's a couple of things here for me. And I think it's something that we really need to be thinking about deeply. I ain't even going to pause on that one, because this is how I'm feeling right now. First and foremost, gutted. Absolutely gutted. Why? We lost the game. See if I can try and break it down, because I think there's been a few things that obviously a lot of us have been observing over the last few weeks. It happens every time, and even with a new manager, makes no difference, because we've still got the same players. Okay, bar Chiesa. We seem to just be drained. And I said this about 4 or 5 weeks ago. We look knackered. We absolutely look running to the ground. And actually, my worry now is, are we going to see us? Yeah, okay, Arsenal won today. What does that mean? 12 points clear. Okay, 4 games. Do you know what? I'm worried. A lot of people are going, nah, we've got it in the bag, blah, 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 and the other. Even though we've got a few points ahead, and luckily we've got that buffer, so we should be all right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're absolutely fine. But I tell you what, if we perform like we performed today, PSG away, I know that Southampton, I think we just pretty much scraped through there. But to be fair, when I say scraped through, it was a canter really. There was no real pressure. But if we play like we have done in the last few games, listen, guys, mark my words. Mark my words. It's not over till the fat lady sings. She was clearing the throat weeks ago. But now I'm not hearing her do nothing, which is a worry for me, 100%. Say performances. I think the problem that we've got is quite clear and evident for all to see. My man, initially he was making some absolute worldy substitutions and putting people on at the right time and blah, 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 blah. But why does he continue to play the same players that look mash? You can't tell me that he can't see that they look mash and there's no energy. But he continues to play them. So this is his downfall now. Now, whether it's something to do with the fact that he has his favourites, and realistically, yes, people have the favourites, but actually we've also got to take into account that it's not about your favourites, it's about the team, it's about points, and it's about winning, and it's about a performance. So if you've got favourites, that ain't good, because evidently your favourites aren't producing, and if they're not producing, like any other player that doesn't produce, then you do something about it. Don't keep the players on to run them to the ground. Now, evidently, there's players that hasn't been playing, the likes of Elliot, the likes of Chiesa, the likes of Endo. Jones has a bit of a cameo now and then. We need to refresh. We need players to have a bit of time to be able to recover. And even if it's a game or halfway through a game or taking them off after, I don't know, 70 minutes or whatever, at least that gives them a bit of time, because the energy levels are zapped. And you know what really annoyed me today? I saw Joe Linton, I saw Gamares, I saw Tonali just walk through our midfield, and not one of them, it seemed frightened. Them seemed afraid if you putting a tackle, putting a foot, if you challenge them. How are they? So it's quite obvious for me. Never mind all this fancy business like Fatina and all them players. We need somebody to go in there and shoulder barge man off the ball and be a bit more aggressive and be a bit more of a destroyer in there. We haven't got that. We need somebody like that. We need somebody to sort of like, you know, rake out a few crunching tackles to make them know so we them in a game. Whereas today, that wasn't the case. They just seemed to sort of soldier through us like a hot knife through butter, man. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I think the next few games, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about us drawing games and losing games and Arsenal winning theirs. I don't even want to think about it, guys. I think Slot now needs to understand that, look, this is the business end of the season. It's alright doing all the fancy footwork and stuff like that, you know, at the beginning and the back end of the year. January onwards, this is where it counts. We are now at the pinnacle of the season. 9 games left. We really need to make sure that we go through the finish line. Not crawling through it. Bussing through it like a stallion. That's what we need to be doing. I just didn't think there was any passion today, guys. I just didn't think that any player could hold their head up today on that football pitch besides, I would say, Elliot, Chiesa and possibly Jones. I mean, Verge. And what is it all about, this shoulder barge business? Ibu, man, I know he got taken off, but you and Verge do exactly shoulder barge, push people up. Man, just tackle and just get stuck in. What's wrong with you? And you know, I don't know what Slot was thinking about today. He put Gravenberch and centre off, and I don't know. He's got a lot to learn. You know, his first season, and you know what? I didn't expect anybody to get a trophy. So yeah, we're still looking at the quadruple and chasing that down, but I wasn't expecting that to happen, I'm not going to lie. So even if we get one trophy this season, it's more than what I thought we were going to get. But you know, next year we have to build on it. There's all sorts of rumours going around about players coming in and this, that and the other, and us selling players. That's absolutely fine, but make sure that the ones that we bring in are the ones that are going to not put in a performance like they have been over the last couple of games. And hopefully the rotation will freshen up the players. So evidently, let me ask you a question. Simple. McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. Our midfield. Because I got absolutely bullied today. Yes, they're knackered. I understand. So it's an excuse. But on current form over the last couple of games, would they get into any top 5 side? I repeat, in the last couple of games, their form and performances, would they get into any top 5 side? Some people may argue and say yes. You know my thoughts. Anyway, listen. I've said enough. Normally I don't say too much, but today has been a very depressing day for all Liverpool fans. I thought at least this could have one cup and a bit of silverware on the shelf for my man Slot, which would sort of galvanise us right through to the end of the season. But I think all it's done is it's just... And you know, looking at some of the players and Slot's reactions, some of the players just... I mean, he's a very different manager to Klopp. Do some of the players even like the guy? Who knows? And the performances, is it reflecting on what people possibly might know behind the scenes about the 3 contracts that might not be getting signed. Who knows? Anyway, guys, as ever, please comment, share, subscribe, and above all, smash the like. Smash the like. Until we meet again, Megan. Peace.